Hey, Warrior Saints, good morning. Welcome to Thursday's episode of our Crucifixional live stream. So glad to have you beautiful people with us. Glad you are here as we are attacking the crisis of masculinity. As we've been saying all week, to be a real man is under assault. And what it means to be a man has become disfigured. We saw that at the beginning of this week when we saw the Playboy magazine post on the October issue, the Playboy bunny was a dude. Like, we knew something wasn't right. We knew when we watched Chad on TBS that the character of a little boy in high school was played by a chick. I mean, it's just, it's a crisis because it's all upside down. To overcome this crisis is to have a life as a warrior saint. That's what a warrior saint is, a true man in Christ. Now, we're focused mostly on dudes, specifically on dudes, but this all applies to ladies as well. Look, it's important that all of us become warrior saints, but especially the fellas. Now, to do that, you got to define what is it that makes a warrior saint. What are the qualities? What are the traits? What are the pillars, the foundations upon which a warrior saint is built? We put forward four. King, which we did on Tuesday, knight, which we did yesterday, and today we're going to talk about mentors. Now, every good story, every story has a mentor or a guide. All of them. If the story is to work, it's got to have a guide. It's got to have a mentor. That's why stories that don't seem to resonate with us, because they don't tickle our brains the right way, because we all need a mentor and a guide. You think I'm wrong? Think about Star Wars. Luke Skywalker. I mean, he had Ben Kenobi, right? Harry Potter. He had Dumbledore. Bilbo Baggins had Gandalf. Frodo Baggins, he had Gandalf. Even the arrogant Tony Stark had Max Fury, right? Everyone needs a mentor or a guide in their lives. I have had a few very, very powerful mentors in my life. As you all know, one of the tragedies of my life, my father was killed by a drunk driver when I was just a little boy at 7 years old. And there was a dear family friend, a husband and wife couple that were really helpful to my mother. And the gentleman, God rest his soul, Albert Tenney. God, I will never forget Albert as long as I live, because he taught me so many things that a father would have taught a son, because he knew I needed that mentor, that guide. I mean, not to be silly, I learned how to mow the grass from Albert, right? Like, I was a little kid, I didn't know how to work the lawnmower. He taught me how to do that. He even taught me how to ride on a Gravely, for those who know. Like, it was important that he was in my life. We all need mentors. We all need guides. And that means that we as fellas got to be willing to find a mentor, to find a guide, and we also have to be willing to be mentors to the next generation, right? It is important that we as men, true men in Christ, take the gospel, take the life of a warrior saint, and give it to the next generation. There is a great saying, or a mashal, a saying from the book of Proverbs, and you all know this. It's from chapter 22. Train up a child in the way that he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it, right? You know this one, you've heard it. And yet, how many of us are actively participating in teaching the next generation? And look, for those fellas out there who have children, I'm sure, like me, you come home at the end of the day and you're tired and you're like, I got to see the kids. I love the kids, but I got to see them, and it's work, and I'm so tired, and I just want to, have a glass of scotch and a cigar and watch the Lakers and just not worry about anything else. And that's not a bad need. But the child's need is greater than yours and mine, and we need to be crucifixional, right? Like, you've got to train that generation. You also want to think about those people who you work with. I am responsible to train all of my team, right? Most of them don't need it. They actually teach me more than but that's my job. I'm supposed to pass on to that next generation what it means to be a warrior saint and how to teach the gospel. That's it. I mean, it's got to go. Like, you think about it in your workplaces, gentlemen, like, you can't hire someone and expect them to know everything that you want them to do right off the bat. You got to teach them. You got to train them. I once heard a beautiful parishioner of ours said that it was a nice saying. She was telling us about, she worked for a really tough boss who said to her, I micromanage until I trust. Then he turned her loose. And what he was saying was, I got to teach you everything I need you to know. That's why I'm micromanaging. But once you got it, boom, off you go. And likewise, we are called to be mentors, to micromanage, if you will, the life of the younger warrior saints until they are ready to be turned loose. And to give them, we mentor them what true, pure, clear, clean warrior saint masculinity is. Not the toxic masculinity that the world wants to rage against. I don't care about that kind of stuff. But to be real men, fierce, ferocious lions who are seeking to be kings in our lives, to protect, to provide, to be knights, to have chivalry, to be genteel, diplomatic, and faithful, strong men. And also, which we'll talk about tomorrow, to be truly lovers, lovers of other people, lovers of God, of our wives, of our children, lovers of the world, right? To do that stuff, we have to be taught. I need a mentor. You need a mentor. But more importantly, for those of us who are old enough to do so, we need to mentor the next generation. It is simple and necessary to help you do that. Because sometimes it's like, look, you want to be a mentor? You got to have your own act, your own house in order. How do we do that? And then how do we take that and teach that to the next generation? You do that by subscribing to the Way of the Warrior Saint, which you can find at our website. We're devoting ourselves to teaching men how to overcome the crisis of masculinity. When you go to our website, you're going to find the book, which it's a great start. If you don't have it, I encourage you, get it today. It's a great read. It's an easy read. I also really want to encourage you at our website to join the Way of the Warrior Saint. It is... And it's a vital tool. It's something that we are involved in as well. The Warrior Saints team, we're learning and growing through this. These teachings teach us, the teachings teach how to become mentors so that we can train up children so that they won't depart from it when they're old. I encourage you, join us. It's really easy. It's fun. It's fast. You can get each video done in like 15 minutes or less a day. There's one a week, everything new. The database just grows. I mean, there's a gazillion of them in there. Just get it. Get it and join us. I really love you. Really thankful to you. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be back tomorrow to talk about being a lover. Till then, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.